Hello, and welcome to Secure Your Finances, the show that helps business owners reduce their biggest expense, taxes, legally, ethically, and compliantly. I'm your host, Maggie Montague, and today we're starting off a new series, Working Women Wednesday, where we'll be spotlighting various women business owners who are moving and shaking in their community. Of course, I have to start with my hometown, Tampa, Florida, Brandon, Florida, Ruskin, all of the areas I claim y'all too. So we do have our first guest, the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Miss Cassie. Cassie is a Florida State University grad, member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and she is the fun-loving owner and operator of Pink Butterfly Bush. Welcome, Cassie.
Hi, thank you so much, Maggie. Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'm so excited to be here with you.
Yes, I'm excited to interview you too and get to know more about you and your business and all the things that you have moving and shaking going on. I hear that you just have a plethora of things that you are working on.
Ooh. Plethora sounds so heavy.
Plethora in a good way because they're all coming together, of course.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna get right into it. Pink Butterfly Bush. Where'd you come up with that name? What's the story?
Yes, Pink Butterfly Bush. Many people don't know Pink Butterfly Bush it's actually a plant. It's a flower. And so how did it become the name of my business? Well, my business is because it's like women focused and we're just going to say it, vagina focused. I wanted it to be a name that wasn't so obvious as to what we do up in here. Okay.
Right.
But I did want it to be something that was like, okay, well, if you know, you know. If you know about the Pink Butterfly Bush, you know what they do. You can sit and talk about the Pink Butterfly Bush around men, anyone else who you may not feel comfortable really disposing vaginal secrets with.
Right.
You can talk about the Pink Butterfly Bush and people won't really freak out. So I did want the name to be somewhat mysterious, so to speak. And so kind of went through a few different names and landed on Pink Butterfly Bush for a number of reasons, really. Each name apart kind of has its own little meaning.
Okay.
Being soft, sweet, gentle, feminine, vaginas.
They are.
We do refer to, at the Pink Butterfly Bush, we refer to pink that's if we're saying you're pink, we're talking about your vagina. And even when you walk in, on the wall, you see a sign that says pink as in pussy. So It's very clear when you're there, okay?
What it is.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
I think there's such a stigma around using certain words. And I mean, I'm sure you have had to work through that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that.
Just as far as even when it comes to like social media or YouTube,
they'll ban you in a heartbeat.
Yes, you have to be careful what you write in the caption, what you say in your video. You can't just talk to the ladies straight up like you would if you were talking to the girl. You got to kind of sugarcoat it a little bit and beat around the bush. You really, and that's pun intended. So it's a challenge to just communicate with my audience. And that's why I think that, and I like you said, I hate the stigma of just talking about a vagina and saying what it is and for what it is. But because of the challenge that I'm faced with, pink was a way to kind of attack that head on. Like, my ladies know, say something about your pink, then they know what that is. I started really posting that sign. That's, you know what I mean? And just putting that out there so that people know, yeah, pink as in pussy. Yes, that's what it is. That's what we do here. That's what we do. Yes. So
I love it.
I just attacked it head on. But yeah, so that's kind of the story behind Pink Butterfly Bush. Butterfly as well. Like if you see my logo, it's a butterfly that's a vagina. And it looks like a perfectly fine butterfly. Yeah. It blends right in.
Exactly. And I love that. I love that how everything comes together. And I mean, it's really education on the spot, because you enlightened me today. I was like, oh, I didn't even know it was actually a flower. And like, you know, like there's so much to learn. And I think people just overlook that whole entire sector of self-care. And the fact that you have an entire business solely dedicated to that within itself speaks volumes, because there's so many of us that deal with different things and just don't know where to go, who to turn to, what to do, what, you know, and then it's already embarrassing maybe, you know, with what's going on, or just embarrassing to say the word. Like we're just so taught to like shun that down. So I love that you are just being subtle, but also direct. Like this is what it is.
Yes, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Yes, I love the way you said that. Subtle but direct. But yes, that's very true. Because when when I do get a chance to talk to people, I'm very direct. Even though it may, on the face of it, you know, I have to be very kind of conservative in some ways. And I can appreciate both aspects too. So.
Right. I think you blend that beautifully. So that is awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So did you always want to be, and it's called a Peristeam Facilitator, correct? That's the correct word?
Yes, that is the correct word.
Okay.
I actually didn't know anything about a Peristeam Facilitator a few years ago.
I figured, so that's why I said, let me ask. Let's talk about this. What did you want to do? What did little Cassie in the pink dress, because that's what I'm envisioning you. What was she wanting to do?
Uh-oh, I lost you.
We're back.
Uh-oh. Okay. Am I back yet?
I think we're back.
Okay. All right. Yes. So little Cassie, it's so funny that you asked that. Little Cassie actually wanted to deliver babies. I wanted to be an OBGYN, go to med school, applied to even med school, got in Howard actually.
Okay.
But I kind of was I thought about my parents at the time, because I didn't get a scholarship.
Right.
And so I was like, I'm going to go ahead. I did get Bright Futures, in Florida.
In Florida,
so I was like, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to go to the best school in Florida.
Okay. Florida State. I love it.
Yeah. And so that's how I ended up at Florida State. But I always wanted to deal with feminine reproductive.
Right. So always had a.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I dealt with my own feminine reproductive issues just from a young age. And so I think that it's always just been one of those pain points for me that I was like, I want to help people with. Yeah.
I love that. And thanks for your transparency, because you know what? That's what's going to, that passion, and when you already have firsthand dealt with something, is how you're really going to come and advocate, So that piece, just knowing that should put anybody at ease, knowing that I'm going to someone who has maybe not have gone through the same thing I've gone through, but just knows what it's like to just have things that come up that you just may not have expected, especially postpartum.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about that. Like, what is your ratio of like women who come to see you like postpartum? Do you have services for that? What services do you offer?
Yes, yes. Women come to me for all types of reasons. And I'll be honest, I'll have to say it's pretty even spread, but
Okay.
the majority of the women come to me for menstrual pain,
Right.
anything dealing with the menstrual cycle that may
Mm-hmm.
be off, whether it's absent menses, where they don't have a period at all and they want to have
Mm-hmm.
babies. Their period comes every other week. Period lasts 2 weeks long. Period only comes two, uh, every 6 months. Irregularities, things like that.
Yeah.
Dealing with the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
Yoni steaming is amazing regulating the cycle, and so that's the majority of what I deal with.
Okay.
Postpartum, a lot of women do come about 6 to 8 weeks after postpartum. And they really want to steam a lot of times, first off, to relax. They're
Mm-hmm.
really trying to decompress,
Mm-hmm.
and miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women come after miscarriage. Once
Mm-hmm.
they bleeding, to restore the womb, really add
Right.
nutrients to it as well, and kind of get back on track, you know.
So I didn't a little bit about my background. Most people know I'm West Indian, right? So I grew up in a Jamaican Trini household, and after
Mhm.
having my son, that was something that my family was like, you need to get done. And it's interesting because that's not what we call it, right? They don't call it yoni steaming. They don't even put a name on it, but it is an act that is traditionally followed
Oh, yep,
um,
yep.
postpartum. So it's interesting that, you know, you got like nowadays we can take tradition, if you will, and
Mhm.
add knowledge to
Yes,
it now and just,
yeah.
keep it going. I love that. I love that.
Take it to different levels. Like you could even
Mhm.
steam during labor, to kind of kickstart that process, soften the cervix. Um,
Wow.
yes, so it's so many. It's like you said, it's really about education, and the more they study the practice, the more they really take it further than
Hmm.
the traditional at-home use.
Yeah.
Really find out so many uses for it. So it helps with the high blood pressure after a baby. So
Hmm.
that's really good. Did you end up doing it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I
good, good.
did. I did. And definitely it helped a lot. So this is definitely a great first kickoff series to this because it's also something that's just like near and dear to me because I feel like so many people need to just learn about it and stop being scared to talk about it and
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
love that like again you have an entire place dedicated straight for this.
Yeah,
Um
yes.
what would you say is a common myth about your field?
Ooh, there are actually a lot of myths about yoni steaming, vaginal steaming. And I think it's predominantly because it's a vagina and it's actually it's actually helping us.
Yeah.
But the biggest one that I would say is that it burns. You're gonna burn your hoo-ha if you sit on the pot. This is typically gonna come from someone who's not steamed before,
Sure.
or you know what I mean, doesn't really know much about steaming, hasn't taken too much time to really investigate it,
Hmm.
because it definitely does not burn you. And it's just like a stove. If you're touching a stove and it burns, you remove your hand. So for you to really get burned, that means that you were sitting there, taking on too high for your body.
Hmm.
So it's kind of one of those things like, and if you are sitting on a pot that does burn, because I know a lot of people try it at home. They try to follow YouTube videos. They try
Hmm.
to look up just read instructions on the box of some
Hmm.
earth, and the pot they got to put in the toilet, with some boiling water. I've heard a lot of horror stories. That's kind of a lot of the clients that come to me are like, I tried this at home and I burned my hoo-ha.
Oh.
So um, it's one of those things like if you're gonna try it, I believe
Hmm.
that you should really start off with a certified practitioner, unless you're gonna sort of take the time to certify yourself. There are a lot of programs that you can take, that you can actually learn the true real way how to do it, how long to do it, how often to do it, when to do it, what type of herbs to do it with. It's literally, it's very detailed. There's a science to this. You don't just kind of pick the herbs.
Throw it together.
Yeah. So every herb has a purpose and does something and interacts with the other herbs in a different way. So you can take the time to really learn about it and set it up at home, or you really should just go ahead and do it with a certified practitioner so that you don't burn your hoo-ha.
Yes, don't do that.
Yes.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for debunking that myth. I'm sure there's someone out there that's probably watching this on live or who'll be hearing the podcast later on who's like, yeah, I thought about that. So I'm glad that we were able to nip that right in the butt and let them know that, listen, if you go to a professional, the chances of that happening are slim to none, because we will make sure that doesn't.
Right. It's a heat controlled environment. So
correct,
yes.
Correct. All right. So talking more about on the self-care spectrum, I heard that you have an event coming up.
Mm-hmm. I do that I'm so excited about. So it's the very first Yoniscape retreat.
Okay.
It's a women's wellness retreat, 2 days long in Kissimmee, Florida.
Nice.
We got a nice, huge house, 9 bedrooms, 8.5 bathrooms.
Wow.
And pool, jacuzzi, just a lot of space. So during the weekend, we're gonna have different facilitators come and host a session on this. Bath, meditation, yoni steam. I'm gonna do the yoni steam, journaling. We got some massages as well, Reiki, healing, which I've never done, so I'm excited about that.
Nice.
We're gonna have a seminar as well, just the women in the house, and we're gonna eat our butts off. We got food catered the whole weekend.
Wow.
We got a cocktail party happening to kick off the weekend as well with the bartender.
Wow. That sounds like a time. Sign me up.
Yes, it's gonna be really nice. So I'm really, we've got 5 spots left. So and it's June 2nd through the 4th. June 2nd
to the 4th.
A Friday through Sunday. And it's really just kind of like, we want you to feel like you're really getting away without having to fly out anywhere and do all of that. It's all inclusive. So one price includes your whole weekend, food, everything. Nice. So it's really nice. It's really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So I'll definitely link the tickets to your event on the streaming platforms. So that way, if you are viewing this or listening to this on Spotify or Facebook or Instagram or all the things, you know exactly where to purchase. Again, that's June 2nd to the 4th, Kissimmee, Florida, all-inclusive Yoniscape.
Yoniscape, yes.
Yoniscape, all right. And that is going to just be all about women's wellness. And you get to actually be in a beautiful place with a Peristeam Facilitator for the whole weekend. So you can ask away all the questions and you can connect with women and really just, build a sense of community.
Yeah, we got moms, business owners, all type of women who have already registered. So it's going to be really nice. It's going to be a good circle of women. And I think it's going to form a little community of its own.
Yes. Well, I am excited for you. The first event, I know it's going to be great. I can't wait to check back in with you when we check back in and, hear all about it, see all the pictures, and I'm sure you'll do like a little, all the videos and all of that. So I'm
Yes.
excited for sure to be able to see that and hopefully be a part of it. So
Yes, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know we had a little bit of connectivity issues, but we're working through it.
We worked through it. We got through it.
It was a pleasure talking to you and getting to know about you and the pink butterfly bush. Where are you guys located? What's the address?
Okay, I am located at 1025 Professional Park Drive in Brandon, Florida, right off of Causeway Boulevard behind the Publix near
Perfect.
Kohl's. So it's right up, it's not too far from you,
Perfect.
wherever you are, not too far.
And if they want to find out more about you, they want to follow you, they want to get to know a little bit about you and your business, where can they find you?
Absolutely. You can follow us on Instagram at Pink Butterfly Bush. Or if you're interested in the retreat, we have a special page dedicated to the retreat at Yoniscape, YONISCAPE retreat. And our website is www.pinkbutterflybush.com.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. It was a pleasure. I am so grateful to definitely launch this Working Women Wednesday series. I am always looking for people to interview. So if you guys are interested in showcasing your business on my platforms at Secured Financials, definitely reach out to me so we can get you scheduled. And for all the ladies listening, make sure you book your appointment with the Pink Butterfly Bush.